Someone exported a client video last Tuesday, and right there, in the bottom corner, was a logo that wasn't theirs. Not a subtle one either. Bright white. The client noticed immediately. That's the trap every free video tool runs. You do the work, they take the real estate. But here's the thing. There are 5 AI video tools in 2026 that are genuinely free, genuinely watermark free, and genuinely powerful. And the paid platforms have done a very good job of making sure you haven't heard of them. We tested all 5 on real client deliverables. Not demos, not fake sample footage, real professional workflows. Tool 5 is the most controversial one on this list, and we'll get there. But first, let's run through exactly what each one does, what it can't do, and who it's actually built for. The first tool is Clipchamp. And before you roll your eyes, because yes, Microsoft owns it now, hear this out. Clipchamp's free tier exports at 1080p with 0 watermark. That changed in 2023 when Microsoft folded it into Windows 11, and most reviewers missed the update entirely. The free plan gives you unlimited exports, the AI auto-compose feature, and basic stock footage access. The paid tier sits at $13 a month and unlocks premium stock and higher resolution. But for client work that doesn't require 4K delivery, the free tier is genuinely usable. Who it's for? Freelancers doing social content, internal training videos, or pitch decks with video components. The interface is browser-based, so there's no install, which matters if you're working on a lockdown corporate machine. Who it's not for? Anyone cutting longer narrative pieces. The timeline is shallow. You'll hit the ceiling fast if you're doing anything over 5 minutes with multi-track audio. The AI auto-compose feature is where it gets interesting. You drop in raw clips, tell it the target length and tone, and it assembles a rough cut. We tested it with 12 minutes of interview footage, targeting a 90-second social clip. The first pass was about 60% usable, which is better than most paid tools we've seen at the same task. You're not publishing that first pass, but you're not starting from scratch either. The limitation most reviewers skip. Text overlays. The free tier's font library is thin, and the positioning controls are clunky. If your brand has specific typography, you'll be fighting the tool constantly. Now, that first tool is the safe pick. The next one is where things start to get more interesting, because it does something Clipchamp flat out cannot. Have you been burned by a watermark on a client deliverable? Drop a yes or a no below. Genuinely curious how common this is. Tool 2 is CapCut Web, and yes, this needs a serious caveat before we go any further. CapCut is owned by ByteDance, the same parent company as TikTok. The United States government has raised data concerns about both platforms. If you're working on sensitive client content, legal material, or anything with confidentiality requirements, this is not your tool. That's not a disclaimer, buried in the fine print. That's a real workflow decision you have to make. For everyone else, here's what the free tier actually gives you. Watermark-free exports up to 180p on mobile. And on the web version, the limit is higher when you use their direct export path rather than the default. The AI features on the free tier include auto captions in 17 languages, background removal, and their AI text-to-video generator. The auto caption accuracy is genuinely remarkable. We ran a test with the speaker who had a moderate regional accent. CapCut's free auto captions hit 91% accuracy on the first pass. A competing paid tool we tested the same day hit 84. The free tool won. The workflow is fast. Upload. Auto caption fires in about 40 seconds for a 2-minute clip. You edit the caption text directly on the timeline, and the video updates live. For content creators producing captioned social video at volume, that alone saves roughly 3 hours a week based on our timing tests. The edge case to know: the AI text-to-video feature on the free plan watermarks the generated clips. It's only the standard video editing export that stays clean. If you're using it as a text-to-video generator, you're back in watermark territory on the free tier. So Tool 2 is fast and accurate, but comes with a real ownership question. Tool 3 solves a completely different problem, one that neither of the first 2 tools can touch. Tool 3 is Runway ML, and the free tier is one of the most misunderstood offers in the AI video space right now. Most people hit the free tier, see 125 credits, and assume that's nothing. Here's what 125 credits actually gets you. Approximately 25 seconds of AI-generated video. That sounds tiny until you understand what those 25 seconds are worth in a professional context. Runway's Gen 3 Alpha model is producing footage that would have cost thousands of dollars in stock licensing or production time 18 months ago. A single 4-second establishing shot of a location you can't physically access, a product in an environment that doesn't exist yet, a visual metaphor that would take a motion graphics team 2 days to build. 25 seconds of that is not nothing. The workflow we tested. A product photographer needed a 15-second hero clip for a new client. No video budget. She fed Runway a single high-resolution product still and a camera motion prompt. Runway generated a slow push-in with realistic depth. Total time from upload to usable clip, 4 minutes. The credits used, 12. She had over 100 credits left for the rest of the month. Now here's the limitation. The free tier does not give you watermark-free exports on everything. Standard video edits in their editor export clean. AI-generated clips on the free tier carry a subtle watermark. The workaround is to use the generated clip as a B-roll insert inside a project you export through their video editor, not directly from the generation screen. That combination exports clean on the free tier. It's a specific path through the tool, and almost nobody talks about it. Who this is not for? Anyone who needs volume. 25 credits a month is enough for 1 or 2 premium shots. If you're running a high-output production pipeline, you'll exhaust the free tier in 1 session. If any of these are saving you real money or time on client work, subscribe. Every week, we test AI tools on actual professional workflows. No paid placements. No affiliate pressure. If a tool doesn't hold up, we say so directly. Tool 4 is Descript. And this one might be the most genuinely underestimated free tool in this entire list. The free tier gives you 1 hour of transcription per month, watermark-free video export, and their overdub voice cloning feature with 1 voice. The paid plans start at $24 a month. But for the right professional, the free tier alone is worth more than most people's paid subscriptions to other tools. Here's the core mechanic that makes Descript different. It transcribes your video and then lets you edit the video by editing the text. Delete a sentence from the transcript. That sentence disappears from the video. It sounds like a parlor trick until you use it on an interview or a talking head piece and realize you just cut a 12-minute recording to 7 minutes in under 15 minutes without touching a single timeline handle. We ran a test on a 22-minute recorded client interview. The goal was a 6-minute highlight cut. Using traditional timeline editing, that job takes roughly 45 minutes to an hour for an experienced editor. Using Descript's text edit workflow, the same cut took 19 minutes. First pass, 19 minutes. That's not a demo. That's a timed workflow test on real client material. The AI filler word removal is part of that. You check a box, it finds every every false start, and removes them from the video automatically. On the 22-minute interview, it flagged 147 filler words. Accepting them all took 4 seconds. The limitation: 1 hour of transcription on the free tier goes fast. If you're doing more than 2 or 3 interview-based videos per month, you'll hit the ceiling. The workaround is to batch your transcription work into a single monthly session and export all transcripts at once, then do the editing from those saved files. The other edge case: Descript's AI voice overdub on the free tier is restricted to your own cloned voice, and cloning requires you to record a sample. It's genuinely good, but if you need someone else's voice corrected, you're on the paid plan. Now, those 4 tools are all solid, defensible free options. But Tool 5 is the one the paid platforms are most threatened by, and it's the one that most reviewers either miss entirely or bury at the end without explaining what makes it genuinely different. Tool 5 is KdenLive. And yes, it's open source. And yes, that's exactly why the paid platforms don't want you finding it. KdenLive is a full professional nonlinear video editor, free, no subscription, no watermark, no export limits, and since 2024, it has a growing ecosystem of AI plugins that add capabilities that cost real money on paid platforms. Here's what makes this controversial. KdenLive with AI plugins can replace a significant portion of what Adobe Premiere Pro charges $64 a month for. That's not a hot take. That's a direct feature comparison we ran. The 3 AI plugins worth knowing about right now. First, the Whisper integration. OpenAI's Whisper model runs locally through a KdenLive plugin and generates captions. No cloud upload, no subscription, no data leaving your machine. For anyone handling sensitive client footage, that's a real differentiator. The accuracy on our test clip was 88%, slightly below CapCut's cloud-based result, but the privacy trade-off is significant for certain clients. Second, background removal. The Rife and background segmentation plugins run frame-accurate background removal on video without a green screen. We tested it on a talking head clip shot against a textured wall, not a clean background. The result was usable for social content in about 90% of the frame, with some edge artifacts on moving hair. A paid tool, like Descript or CapCut, does this slightly better, but not by a margin that justifies $60 a month if background removal is your only need. Third, Rife frame interpolation. This one is where KdenLive pulls ahead of almost everything on this list, including paid tools. Rife uses AI to generate new frames between existing frames, creating smooth, slow motion from footage that wasn't shot at high frame rate. A clip shot at 30 frames per second becomes a convincing 60 or 120. We tested it on a product clip. The result was clean enough for a paid commercial deliverable. Now, here's the honest limitation. KdenLive has a learning curve. If someone has never used a nonlinear editor, the first 2 hours are going to be uncomfortable. The interface is not as polished as Premiere or Final Cut. Crashes happen occasionally on complex projects, so save often. And setting up the AI plugins requires a few terminal commands on Mac and Linux, which will stop some people cold. But here's the real reason. This tool makes paid platforms nervous. It has no business model that requires keeping you inside it. There's no upgrade button, no feature locked behind a paywall, no credit system. The tool just works, and the AI layer keeps getting better because the open source community keeps building it. For a freelancer billing at $100 an hour, switching from Adobe Premiere Pro to KdenLive saves $64 a month, which is 38 minutes of billable time, every single month without doing anything differently. Here's the honest breakdown. Clipchamp is the safe, zero-risk pick for occasional social or internal video. No setup, no drama. CapCut Web is the fastest tool for captioned social content, but you need to be clear-eyed about the data question before you put client work through it. Runway ML free tier is not a full production tool. It's a surgical credit-based option for high-value generated shots. Use it for the moments that would otherwise cost you a stock license or a production day. Descript free tier is genuinely the most powerful free offer on this list for anyone working with spoken word content. 1 hour of transcription sounds limiting, and it is, but the editing workflow it unlocks in that hour is worth more than most people realize. And KdenLive with AI plugins is the long game. It's the tool that costs nothing to run, keeps getting better, and doesn't have a pricing team looking for ways to move features behind a paywall. If you're willing to spend a weekend learning it, the return is permanent. We tested the 5 AI audio tools that pair with everything on this list, and one of them flagged a legal issue with a specific workflow that most creators don't know about. That video is already up. And one more thing. Which of these 5 tools are you most likely to actually use? Drop the number below. We read every one of them.